Hello, 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 everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Fun for Art, where I love showing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life with some fun, simple, and quick art projects. Oh, I had to put on my little Halloween hat. Anyway, hello. We are painting a wine glass today. I have it here, ready to go, sort of. If you hop on, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm trying to be cute, but I don't know if it's going to work. Hop on. Let me know where you are watching from, and we are going to get started. Let me put this over here. Let me start my time lapse. And we will be ready. Okay. See, I have to figure that out. Grab the supply list and tracer here. There we go. Okay. Alrighty then, let me move back. So here we go. Hello, 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 everyone. It is so nice to see you. Welcome to day 3 of 31 Days of Halloween. We're painting a wine glass today. If you have it or if you get it, I have a supply list. I didn't put alcohol on there, but I should. And it lists the paint colors. And then I have this tracer for you, which I made, which has the complete tracer. I know it's tiny. And then each of the elements that I've used in this wine glass. This is just a reference. It's just a guide. I'm going to show you how we use it. So let me put these things aside. I printed out 2 and cut out the 1 because you're going to want to cut yours out. If you're watching and you have it, you're going to want to cut yours out. Okay. So let me turn you guys around and we will get started. So I have out a holder here that I made. I believe there's a video for it on my YouTube. I will look. It's just wood and felt. If you do not have something like that, you can use a dish towel. And what I do is, and it's a Halloween dish towel too, I fold up the sides underneath each side and make like a little divot in the middle, and then I put my wine glass here. This way it's not rolling around, plus I paint on canvas, it's not making noise, it just sits snuggled right here. Okay, so that's my little paper towel trick. Let me move that right here. I'm going to grab a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a clean paper towel, and I'm going to clean all the dust and grime and fingerprints and finger oils off my, I probably should have done this second, and I'll tell you why in a minute, off my glass. Okay, close that up and put it aside. I try to stay neat. Okay, I have out this little tracer. It doesn't really matter which way it goes. I think I'm going to put it that way basically. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to get a couple of little pieces of tape here. I'm going to take my tracer and I'm going to put it inside my glass. Let's do this. All right, put tape on there. I got my tracer. It doesn't really matter where you put it because this is what you're putting on your glass. So wherever it goes, it goes. And then I'm going to make sure it's on the glass snug. And I'm going to put another little piece of tape in here. Oops. There we go. So now we have a guide to follow when we paint this. Okay? All right. I'm going to put out a little bit of orange paint. I am using enamels. You can use multi-surface paint for glass. I have enamel paint, so when I paint on glass, I use the decor or the folk art enamel. It's water-based paint, but it is an enamel. And that is what I will use when I paint on glass. But you can use the multi-surface plaid, you can use glass paint, you can use decor, whatever you want. And I'm just putting out a few colors. There's orange, if I get the list here. Black, white, yellow, orange, purple, dark green, and light green. we'll see if we use the greens. I don't know. But I like to be prepared, and I like for you guys to be prepared. I'm going to get out some white. And I didn't actually have black, so I'm going to grab my Folk Art Multi-Surface Black. See? No problem. And there are my colors. I have what's called this Flow Medium. You can use it if you want. You really don't have to. I like to put it in a little cup. Okay. But I'm just going to put it over here on my plate. It just kind of helps set your paint. Now, glass paint needs to be baked in the oven. You can leave it for 21 days, or you bake it in the oven according to the directions on the back of the bottle. The Decor and the Plaid both have the baking instructions to cure the paint on the back of the bottle. Okay? And this, because it's glass, it's going to take a very small brush. I have a liner brush. Then I have a very small round brush or smaller liner brush. And then I have a tiny flat brush. It's not even like 1/8 of an inch wide. But I'm going to start out with my small liner brush. And I'm going to pick up some of my orange paint here. It's the same thing. I'm rolling my brush into the paint. And I'm going to come to my surface. And I'm going to get up close, and I'm just going to start painting in the flower. I'm doing the petals. I'm turning my surface. Pick up some more paint, and I'm just painting in the center flower. And then one more here. Painting on glass is a little different than painting on canvas. Your paint is not going to be as opaque. It's just not. It's glass. You can wait for one coat to be completely dry and then go back in and add another coat if you want to. Or you can just be like, oh, it's glass painting. It's a little translucent. So be it. Okay? If you try and keep painting on over and over and over again on glass paint, you'll just start lifting the paint if it's not completely dry yet. Okay? I'm going to take the back of my brush. I'm going to dip it in the black, and I'm going to add a center to my flower. Okay? And I'm going to just wipe off my brush. Usually when I paint with acrylic paint, I try not to use water. I try to just either switch brushes or start with the light and work to the dark, because sometimes when you introduce water to enamel paint, it makes the enamel paint kind of weird. So now I'm just going to put in some stems for my spiders. Okay? There we go. And then each spider is going to get an oval body. And again, this is just a guide. I'm not following it perfectly. It's under there. It's helping me keep my elements small. It's helping my placement, sort of. But I'm not following it exactly. And that's okay. So I got all my spider bodies in there. Spider bodies are a bit of an oval, like an egg. And then I'm going to twirl my brush, and I'm going to start adding some spider legs. 8 on each side, because if you know, that's what spiders have. Okay? And I'm just pulling out and down. These are little sideways, L's. And I'm just going to work my way around the glass. This technique would work with any kind of tracer or guide. And I call it a tracer because basically whenever I give you guys something to help you paint with, it's a tracer, but this is more of a guide. Try and make your spider legs as skinny as possible. Pick up more paint. And there we go. So I have my flower and my spiders. And I'm just going to wipe off my brush. Now I'm going to use the back of my brush. I'm going to go in the white. And I'm going to add little taps for my spider eyes. Okay? Tiny bit. Very light touch. We're painting small because it is just a wine glass. A little bit more. These enamel paints tend to be a little thick, so I like how they just, they're not running all over the place. They're not runny. They just kind of stay right where you put them. Okay? So I have my spiders. And now I'm going to add in, I'm going to come over here with my brush. I'm going to roll it in the purple. And I'm going to start adding in some of these filler leaves. I guess I have 4 of those, so 4. So I put the little lines, and now I'm just going to take my brush, and I'm going to gently dab it on either side, left, right. I'm just using the very tip of the brush, and I'm literally dabbing. Okay? Tip, dab, and we're going on the left and the right and the left and the right and the left and the right and the left and the right. And just making these tiny little dabs. You want them to be on a little bit of an angle, almost making like a V into your stem. Okay? And then the one more down here. If you want to put more, you can. If you want your design more full, it can be. Totally up to you. Okay? And then I'm going to wipe my brush again. The less water you introduce to enamel paint, the better. But I'm really, when I clean my brush, I'm really giving it a nice wipe and a pull to get out as much paint as possible. Okay. So I'm going to, oh, I just put my hand in the medium. What color? I think I'm going to do white. So I'm going to get a little bit of white, and I'm going to add in for my candy corn. And I'm just going to make these little rounded triangle shapes. Okay? Put one out here. And I'm base coating them in white, and then we're just going to come back and we're going to add the yellow and the orange. So I have a stem, and then the stem comes out, and the bottom, and then our rounded candy corn. Over here, this one crosses over my spider a little bit. And then my rounded candy corn. So that's 1, 2, 3. In floral arrangements, we'd like to have 5, or an odd number rather, but it's up to you. As we work along, if I have another element to add, like I'm going to add some spooky eyes, I'm going to put those spooky eyes wherever they fit, where I need some filler. So we basically put our flower in the middle. That's our statement flower. And then the rest of these guys, the spiders and the purple flowers and the candy corn, are all fillers. I'm going to do one more up here like I have it on my thing. There are people who get concerned about drinking from a painted glass, but you don't have to drink from the side that has the paint. You just turn it around and drink from this side. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, and I'm going to wipe my brush again. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to, oh, I forgot to put out the yellow. I need to put out a little bit of yellow. Maybe this yellow. Yeah, this is better. Only need a tiny bit, and that's pretty much all I got. Okay. So I'm going to roll my brush in the yellow, and I'm going to start adding in the yellow portion of my candy corn. I'm just laying it right over the white. My white is pretty dry, so that's good. And I'm just coming in and I'm layering over the yellow to the bottom portion of my candy corn. You want these lines to have a little curve to them because it gives the illusion of your candy corn being round. So instead of just pulling my yellow straight across, I'm making a little curve to it. And now I'm going to pick up my orange. I'm going to go back to where I started. And I'm going to add in my orange now with a little bit of a curve. Sometimes I have to rest my hand or my little pinky. So there. 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 And last but not least, there. How cute is that? So cute. So cute. And I'm going to wipe off my brush again. So if you want the supply list and this little tracer I have for you, you can grab the link. It is in the description or it's over there in the comments. And I'm going to go back to my white and I'm going to add a tiny little white. We got to wait for this flower to dry, otherwise we'd lift the paint. So I'm just adding a little bit of white, some highlight on the petals in my big flower. Wipe it off, go back to my black, and I'm going to do the same thing with the black, but on the opposite side of the petal. Okay. Just a little like a comma stroke, light stroke. Okay. Then I'm just going to go into my purple. I'm not even going to clean my brush. And I'm going to tap in a few centers. Then I'll clean my brush. I'm going to pick up some white. And I'm going to tap in a couple of centers. Okay. Now we're almost done cleaning my brush really, really good. Okay. Now I want to add some of these googly eyes. So I'm going to get my white paint. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not even going to use this. I'm going to get a bigger brush. This one will work. I'm going to get the back of my brush. I'm going to dip it in my white paint. And I'm going to put in a couple of sets, maybe 3. I'll do 3. So I'll put one up there, one out here, and it's all right to go over elements that you already have on there. And I'm using the back of the brush to like draw these on, and then one down here. I'm making these like little ovals. Okay, wipe that off. And then I'm just going to get my small brush again. I'm gonna let those dry a little bit. Let's let those dry a little bit. Okay, what do you guys think so far? I want to get a little bit of orange and just lightly go over the white on my little sticks from my candy corn, just to tone them down a little bit. That's it. Now I'm going to dip the back of my small brush in black. And I'm going to add some black to my googly eyes. What you do to one side, you do to the other side. Then I'm going to let those dry a little bit. I can take off my paper now, and I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to come in here, carefully get behind it, and take it out. So isn't that cool? Let me see if I can put a blank piece of paper in there so you guys can actually, well, let me do it. Let me put it in the paper towel. What do you guys think of that? Isn't that fun? So fun. Okay, let me take that out. So we have one more step to do. I'm going to stand my brush up. I'm going to get this narrow wide brush, this narrow flat brush that I had. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to just draw some stripes across our glass. I'm going to do 4 to move this out the way. And then one that way. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my brush. I'm going to go into the black. And now I'm going to turn and we're going to go this way. So we got black, black, oh, one more paint, and black. Then I can even come on this side and add black next to the purple and black next to this purple. If you want, oh, you couldn't see that. If you want to get a little fancier, you can. But I'm just making a grid with the purple and the black on the bottom. I can go into my brush with my back and put orange dots in all the squares or the rectangles. And again, then we're going to bake these. This has to dry for 24 hours. And then I will bake them in the oven according to the curing directions on the enamel paint bottle. Okay. And then I just want to wipe off my brush. Oh, I'm not using this brush. I'm using this brush. I'm still going to wipe it off. Going back to the tiny, tiny brush I was using, the little round one. I'm going to go into white. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to add a dab of white into each of the middles of the black. So our googly eyes are white, black, white. It's a little too wet. It's not going to work. Guess we'd have to let it dry a little bit more. Okay. But but you get the gist. And there we have it. Let me wipe my glass, put on my glasses, turn you guys around. And there we go. Where's my paper towel? Put my paper towel back here. How cool is that, you guys? Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me for day 3. Thanks, Donna. How are you? Thank you for joining me for day 3 of 31 Days of Halloween. And you can get the tracer. Just tape it into the middle inside of your glass.